Grade 8s, welcome to lesson 7.1. We are beginning our second unit, World Views in Conflict. We are starting with chapter 7, The People of the Sun. I've got a Aztec War Club here because we are going to be learning all about the Aztecs during this chapter. We will read the opening story and we will do our vocabulary words. So stick around and let's learn something. Lesson 7.1. This is chapter 7, The People of the Sun. This is the very first chapter of Unit 2, World Views in Conflict. Really interesting unit. We talk about the Aztecs. We talk about Muslim Spain. We also talk about the Spanish as well. And we talk about what happens when worldviews collide. So it's a really interesting chapter. It's a really interesting unit, World Views in Conflict. But let's get to what chapter 7 is all about. This chapter is all about the people of the sun, the Aztecs. So we're going to start with our opening story. It's 1325, so not that long ago, actually it is. And following the advice of one of their gods, the Aztecs found a new home in the Valley of Mexico. According to the legend, the people we call the Aztecs originally lived in the desert lands of northern Mexico. In 1168, Huitzilopochtli, try saying that over and over again, the god of the Aztecs, or one of the gods of the Aztecs actually, commanded the people to migrate south and told them to look for an eagle perching on a cactus. There they should settle and build a great city. For more than 150 years, the Aztecs traveled over mountain ranges and through river valleys. Eventually, in 1325, when this story is taking place, the Aztecs arrived in the Valley of Mexico, a wide plain with fertile land, plentiful water, and a mild climate. Many thousands of people already lived there in large cities built of stone. The only unoccupied land the Aztecs could find was a swampy island at one end of a broad lake. There, they saw an eagle sitting on a cactus. Screaming, it opened its wings. The Aztecs had finally found their home. They called it Tenochtitlan. And over the next 200 years, they transformed the island into one of the greatest cities the world had ever seen. So what are we trying to answer in this chapter? Well, in this chapter, we're trying to answer in what ways do a group's collective beliefs and experiences contribute to shaping a unique identity? And when we take a look at our worldview icon, we will be answering this question using the elements of geography, time, and beliefs. For your vocab words, we don't have a lot in this chapter. We have Aztec, aqueduct, chinampa, compulsory, tribute, and artifact. So let's move on and let's talk about the Aztecs. This is what this chapter is about. It's the Aztecs. So who were they? Well, they were originally from the desert of northern Mexico. Eventually, they made their way to where modern Mexico City is today, but they started off in northern Mexico. And one day, as we heard in the opening story, one of their gods, the sun god, told these Aztecs to migrate south. And I want you moving, and I want you traveling, and I want you to settle where you find an eagle perched on a cactus. So, they did this, and it took them 150 years for them finally to come to the Valley of Mexico, and where they found this eagle perched on top of this cactus. And then they knew this is where they needed to be because this is what the sun god told them to do. Aztecs. So what is Aztec? Well, we as historians in the 19th century created the term Aztecs. The Aztecs weren't walking around and calling each other Aztecians or whatever you want to call them, but historians gave them the name Aztec. And they were referring to the people living in the area of Mexico during the 15th century, the civilization that was there. Okay, so we gave them that word Aztec afterwards. So Where are the Aztecs? I mentioned this before. They are in present-day Mexico. You can see it here on the map. And their main city of Tenochtitlan is where Mexico City is currently today. So, which is kind of neat. And we're going to learn all about that as we go through the chapters. Now, Mexico City is a far distance away from us. It's 4,784 kilometers from Edmonton to Mexico City. So it is quite a distance away. It is in North America, though. And I'm showing this because the first unit, Unit 1, all about a Western worldview, the origins of a Western worldview, that started in Europe. So this is bringing it a little bit closer to home. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the different groups that are here. Here's a timeline of the three main big civilizations that people always talk about when they talk about the Central and South America groups that were in existence. We've got the Aztecs, who you can see here on the map. They were in present-day Mexico. The Mayans are also in Central America. You can see there on the map. And then the Inca, they are down in South America along the Pacific coast. In terms of timing and in terms of civilizations, the Mayans were first. And you can see here they are on the map. They are in Central America. They were around from 300 to about 900. Okay, those years there. Then along come the Aztecs. They're around from the roughly 1100 to 1521 when the arrival of Hernan Cortez happens. And then the Inca group, they are around during the same time as the Aztecs, although they are a distance away. They are in South America. They are around from the year 1200 to 1500. So just kind of gives you an idea. All three civilizations are different. And oftentimes people confuse them as being the same. But they are not. And in this unit, you are going to learn about the Aztecs. All right, I want you to head over to your notebook and complete the questions for this part of the chapter.